All right, guys, Wes here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we have some news to talk about regarding Spider-Man 2 PS5, including new gameplay that is set to be revealed soon. We also have some news regarding the highly rumored PlayStation showcase that could be where we get the next trailer or gameplay for the sequel to one of my favorite PS4 games, Marvel's Spider-Man 2. On top of that, we're going to go over some comments made by Marvel higher-ups that have stated, and I quote, Spider-Man 2 is exceeding expectations. So I'm going to talk about those comments and break them down, and I'm also going to discuss the visuals of the upcoming game, as it's looking like we are in for a visual masterpiece. So we're going to talk about that and so much more, so definitely stick around until the end of the video because you guys do not want to miss out on everything. Real quick, guys, I'm giving away a PlayStation 5 console in a game of your choice, so this is the perfect chance to win a copy of Spider-Man 2 Hogwarts Legacy or any other game that you choose. To enter, all you have to do is subscribe to my channel, comment your Twitter handle, follow me on Twitter, and tweet me proof that you are subscribed, and the winner will be announced at 65k subs. Spider-Man 2 PS5 is gaining tons of traction and hype for a game that's still about a year away from release. This is of course in part because of the recent success that was Spider-Man Miles Morales and of course Spider-Man Remastered coming to PC. This of course has new fans and old fans alike stuck wondering when they will get a gameplay reveal or new trailer or just anything similar for Spider-Man 2. Obviously, as you guys know, the game was showcased last September, giving us our first look at the new game. Miles Morales and Peter Parker are of course back and will be teaming up this time. We also got our first look at Venom and more. With very little news and updates as far as gameplay and features goes, insiders and analysts have been coming together and they've been doing some digging, which has given us all some updates and just a glimmer of hope. Media analyst Millie Mand claims that we will be getting a look at gameplay soon. Also, big names in the video game news industry like Tom Henderson are also saying that we will be seeing more on Spider-Man 2 by the end of the year, which has a lot of us pointing to the rumored PlayStation event that has so far stayed just that, a rumor. However, it is still possible that the event could happen by the end of 2022, especially with all of the big games coming by the end of the year like God of War Ragnarok and others slated for early 2023. Spider-Man 2's production seems to be going along pretty smoothly. This is of course according to entertainment media analyst Millie Mand, who I just talked about, who's been keeping us updated on her Twitter in terms of reactions from those working on the game and of course Marvel's higher ups, stating that Spider-Man 2 for PS5 is exceeding expectations for Marvel higher ups. According to Amanda, the game's fluidity and visual punch is striking, according to an employee of Marvel. There are really good comments coming from higher ups at Marvel/Disney and of course some of the employees as well. For Marvel to say that Spider-Man 2 is already exceeding expectations bodes well, especially if you consider the current development state the game is in, regardless of how much we've seen so far. Millie finishes off her tweet by saying the gameplay to be shown soon. Now, it is also worth mentioning that this tweet was posted on the 6th of September, so with almost a month going by and not really seeing anything is a little upsetting, but there is still the rest of the year before we can say for certain on whether or not we get an update on the state of Spider-Man 2. It's also worth mentioning that she did say soon, which is kind of the buzzword or the get out of jail free card for most of your media analysts and industry insiders. Obviously, PlayStation is able to afford to kind of stay a bit quiet, especially with the impending juggernaut that they've got coming out with God of War Ragnarok releasing on November 9th. PlayStation really doesn't have to say much at this point. They could easily pull a Nintendo and let the God of War Ragnarok release carry them into 2023 and then come out swinging in 2023 with a showcase sometime in like February. Now, while many speculate that we could see more Spider-Man 2 via a new trailer or gameplay like we just talked about, it's more than likely that Sony will reveal it in a PlayStation showcase. Regardless though, only time will tell. This is not the first time that PlayStation has kept a game under wraps, especially while the development continues out. Something is bound to happen soon. However, we do have a bit of news to share about Spider-Man 2 despite things being somewhat radio silent after the reveal from last year in September. And that is none other than Tony Todd, the actor who will be playing Venom in Spider-Man 2, confirmed back in May that he started motion capture for the upcoming Spider-Man game. On top of that, the writer from the game Subnautica Below Zero, Brittany Morris, was hired by Insomniac in January, who, if you didn't know, also worked on the Miles Morales prequel novel. So it goes without saying that Morris is more than able to help in the writing process for the hopefully incredible story that is the next Spidey game. Let's also not forget about the MCU concept artist we talked about in my last video, who was hired by Insomniac Games to be Spider-Man 2's art director, who, as we stated, worked on Thor Ragnarok and Captain America Civil War. However, this is not their first time in games, as they had a hand in making Halo Infinite as well, So as far as the story and art goes, Insomniac Games has some great leaders and talent in both fields to make this game into a pretty solid sequel to PlayStation 4's Marvel's Spider-Man. Next up, I want to briefly talk about the visuals of Spider-Man 2, with the first game starting off as a PlayStation 4 title that eventually got remastered to PS5 and eventually the PC. The next installment is being developed solely for the PlayStation 5, which has me super hyped. I mean, from the trailer footage we saw, it's already poised to be one of the best looking current gen games by a long shot. If you take a look at how Spider-Man plays and looks on PC with and without visual mods, we are in for a real treat with Spider-Man 2. On top of that, the advancements made with ray tracing and the PS5 supporting AMD's Fidelity FX super sampling, it's highly possible that this game will be able to support something like 4K 120 FPS with ray tracing enabled, but that will all be determined in due time. But the way that Insomniac Games develops their video games, I have no doubt in my mind that this will be a masterpiece in the visual and frame rate category. Now, with all of the hints and rumors that we will be seeing more gameplay this year, or just general news coming to Spider-Man 2, on top of that, the fact that the PlayStation lineup is looking a little bit thin for next year, as well as certain games that are releasing soon that haven't gotten the trademarked PlayStation marketing special, everything is lining up to all have news revealed at a PlayStation showcase, or at the very least, it would be a perfect opportunity for one. So with Amon saying we will have gameplay footage soon, and Tom Henderson interacting with some of his followers who posed the question about Spider-Man 2, and him stating that the year isn't over yet, and when asked if he's speculating or if he knows something about Spider-Man 2, he stated, and I quote, "I was told that we will see something by the end of the year, but I would still treat that as speculation for now until something more concrete happens. If I'm 100% confident and it's big news like that, I would probably write about it to pay my gas bill. So hey, maybe go support Insider Gaming's website. Tom has some bills to pay." And that's not to mention the fact that we still don't have a set in stone release date or window for the game, despite the predictions of the release date in the later half of 2023. But it's undeniable that Sony has become pretty unpredictable as of lately due to the global situation and the fact that they are just staying a bit more hush-hush, especially when you compare it to the previous years. It is, however, pretty likely that we will see a showcase before God of War Ragnarok releases. Not to mention, this would be a perfect time to talk about Marvel's Wolverine, especially after the announcement that Deadpool 3 will have Hugh Jackman back as Logan. Now, it is, however, not out of the question that PlayStation just doesn't host a PlayStation showcase, and they'd rather buy themselves some more time, though I strongly feel it would be a missed marketing opportunity since their fan base is starving for anything and everything, especially on some of their most anticipated games. Either way, it's clear that Sony isn't on a particular time schedule with events like this, since the last one was hosted on the 9th of September in 2021. Now, with that being said, it is possible that PlayStation is finishing off the final touches for the event to make sure that everything they want to show is in a state where they're able to show it or at least provide updates where needed, especially since God of War Ragnarok is set to have at least one or maybe two more trailers. Final Fantasy's producer is also saying that a new trailer is dropping within the next month or so, and on top of that, PSVR 2 still needs a release date and price, which is also set to release sometime in early 2023. Now, while this info could pop up individually and without warning, it's looking like everything is still lining up to be released around the same time. Kind of makes you think, right? Why hold off on talking about upcoming games and then say the new Final Fantasy will be getting a new trailer sometime in the next month or so, all while the hype and questions about Spider-Man 2 and other games like Wolverine are ramping up just to not have a PlayStation showcase. Pretty weird, and again, to me, it looks like it would be a missed marketing opportunity for Sony if they didn't have this event to showcase all of the news that they could provide updates on, but that's just my take. Usually whenever there's smoke, there's fire, and I think that is probably going to be the case with Spider-Man 2 and the potential PlayStation showcase, but we'll just have to wait and see. Either way, that's going to wrap it up with all of the current news on Spider-Man 2. If you guys are looking to stay up to date with all things new with PlayStation and Spider-Man 2, Wolverine, the new Iron Man game, and Hogwarts Legacy, do me a favor and subscribe. Also, guys, take advantage of that PlayStation 5 giveaway. The winner will be announced at 65k subs, so definitely enter to win that. Like the video, and until next time, this has been Wes, and I will talk to you guys again soon.